there's a reason why all of these things are starting to come out now. You look at the P. Diddy thing, you look at the Drake thing, like you look at what's happening with like Nickelodeon. You know what I mean? All those stories of like these old men getting with these young guys and girls. Disney, I feel like, is on the verge of kind of
I'm surprised it hasn't
breaking
already.
out with that. 100%.
Yeah. There's got to be a link somehow, somewhere. I know like this is like, you can't say this, but there has to be some sort of link with people that generally do that in general, but also people that... كيف حالك؟
يعني من كيف حالك؟
Ew, the way, oh god. Throw up.
اسمي Kim Kardashian.
Anna اسمي Kim Kardashian.
West. Anna اسمي Kim Kardashian.
Anna اسمي Kim Kardashian.
What have you been up to this week? What's happening?
What have you been up to?
I know, like, you've said a couple of times how you don't want to say what you do for work and all that bullshit, but do you want to just like give a little context as to what we got up to at the weekend so that...
I'll give a little bit of a background of what I've done now in the past and what I'm doing now.
Okay.
So
well,
that
I don't care about your fucking
just like
CV. I'm just saying, like, why are we...
So in 2004 I did this.
I worked for a travel agent. I got fired.
So a little bit of background about all of that. I've been working in the podcast industry for a couple of years now. That's kind of... Before I did any of that, we had our own podcast. And then I was like, okay, this job came up, wanted to do it. So I worked for Stephen Bartlett for a year or just under a year, which was really
Diary
cute.
of a CEO.
Diary of a CEO.
Okay.
It was fun. It was cute vibes. Learned a lot. And then I now work for Fern Cotton doing The Happy Place. Both jobs were video editing, although my job now is kind of moving into filming the actual episodes and editing. Okay. So that's my background in this.
So you get to meet lots of fun people.
Yes.
And cute people. Who's the most famous person you've met?
I don't know if
Who did you enjoy meeting? Like, you can name a couple, I guess.
I enjoyed meeting Jada Pinkett Smith because it was my first like big person I'd met. And like we went to LA to film it and I was like, oh my God, it's
Jada.
Another person I also really liked was Rebel Wilson.
Oh, fun.
I really enjoyed that episode. But there's lots of people who
You said she was quite sweet.
She was really sweet, really cute. There was a couple of other people that I enjoyed and I really liked the episode and they were really, really sweet, but they're just not as like well known as like those.
And you probably can't talk about some of them yet anyway.
They've not come out or anything. Yeah. But anyway, moving on from that. So yeah, work for Fern.
Why are you telling us this?
We went to the Happy Place Festival.
Did we?
It was so cute.
It was actually very cute.
We went on the Sunday. It was in Chiswick.
Yeah. Is it Chiswick House?
Chiswick House, yeah. And it's kind of like you go through this maze to like get there. You go in, it's really cute.
Yeah.
We did like a little bit of filming. So Faris
I cameoed.
He cameoed in it. Yeah.
I don't need you anymore. Actually, I need you, but like I don't need you. I'm famous.
Fern's gonna fire me and get you to work.
I could be the face of the brand, even though she's the face of her own brand.
Yeah.
That doesn't quite make sense, does it?
You can be the new Fern Cotton.
I get the happy.
Yeah. Exactly that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a festival,
oh no,
like Glastonbury vibes. No.
Do you know what? I don't know if I should say this, but I was so pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
Like really genuine, because I didn't know, like I've seen it before advertised because one of our friends like does like a sound bath there. And like I knew of it and I knew of the Happy Place obviously.
Yeah.
But then I didn't know what it was like. And then when I
heard about it.
The vibe is it's actually really sweet. Like it's really
so cute.
It's a very nice vibe. If you don't like festivals usually, I would actually recommend. No ad, but I would actually genuinely recommend. It was really, really nice.
Yeah.
And like Fern she's such a like sweetheart. Like the way her energy in general, like you can just tell like
it feels very fun, like happy, hippie, floaty.
It was really
chill.
Nice.
Very, very chill.
And I got to meet Josh Patterson.
Oh my God, that was hilarious. Yeah. This is his ultimate crush.
He is so hot. I spoke to him.
He's giving daddy.
My friend Sammy was with me and she was like, I can't speak to him. And I was like, no, come on, you want a photo? So I was like, oh, can you take a photo? And she's like, yeah. And then I was like, oh, you know, like, I asked him questions, whatever. But he was actually lovely. Like, really took time to speak. Really hot.
Yeah.
Really nice, really hot. He was really
Hot.
hard.
Because he looks
Everywhere.
toned and like...
And he's tall.
Yeah, he looks toned in that in his
Yeah.
actual like pictures and when you see him. But
Yeah.
like when you see him, you're like, oh, you're like
He's tall,
big.
yeah, and very nice, and just like you love him. But yeah, very cute. And there was lots of people there, wasn't there?
There was lots of other
Like is it Jason?
Jason
Donovan?
Donovan, I think
Yeah.
was there. Gabby Bernstein. I feel like I'm just doing like one of the ads that I like
Yeah.
type up.
Will Young was
Will
there
Young was
as
there.
well.
Rachel Stevens from S Club 7.
You need to ask Fern when are you next seeing her? I'm gonna put this on air so that there's record of me asking you.
Stress. I'll see her next week probably.
Okay, you need to ask her when her book comes out in paperback.
Yeah, because you want to read it.
I really want to read scripted, and we can talk about books. We haven't spoken about books in ages. But the
Okay.
idea of that book sounds really fucking good, and I want to read it, but I don't want to read a hardback. It's annoying to carry that around on holiday. And no, I don't want an ebook.
It'll be like Devil Wears Prada.
What are they supposed to do? Share?
yeah.
No, I had them reset and bound. They're on the way.
What are my twins going to do with that? Share?
No, I made 2 copies and had them covered, reset, and bound.
Oh, Devil Wears Prada 2 is coming out. So.
I'm so excited for that.
Me too.
Anne Hathaway's still like, is she, isn't she?
Oh, is it not confirmed?
So Emily Blunt and Meryl Streep
Well, that's all that matters, really.
have kind of like confirmed, yeah.
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway, I think she will.
Yeah.
She's not going to do, that's like her first big movie.
Yeah.
Do you know what I was thinking the other day, and I was like, oh, I definitely have to bring this up in the podcast. I went to the barbers the other day.
Oh, you always go to the barbers before you record, really, though.
I mean, this time
Oh, this time you didn't,
It's not
yeah.
as...
I love it. I don't like it when it's too fresh. It
I
feels
love
like
when you got that... I haven't got it now because I just shaved it.
Oh,
a
the
little bit by myself.
beard,
The
yeah.
beard and then the
oh
shape
no, I mean
part.
like the hair. Like I love it when it's like a little tiny bit, like just grown a little bit and like fluffy. It
Like
looks so,
fluffy.
and the color is so nice. Like when you bleach it, like no baby boy.
When we...
Especially
one
in
of
this
the old
lighting.
episodes, you'll go back. I'm so pale as well because obviously we haven't had like a good
Tan.
summer.
Yeah.
But I'm pale. My hair is so short and blonde. It just looks like I'm bald the whole
it's
time.
so
It was
cute.
fucking awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I wanted to talk about straight spaces.
Yes.
Straight spaces when you're gay is such an interesting experience.
Uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable.
You're missing a word there.
There's so many times in my life that I can think back to and I'm like, kill me. Like fucking awkward. So the barbers, firstly, you have to do it on an app. I don't know if I'm just getting old. I'm like, what do you mean? Like you just don't go in and pay? Like it's weird. You have to book it on an app for a specific time. And I was like, okay, cool. So went in, very laddie, rah, 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 dick. I'm not saying dick. No, they didn't say
Yeah,
dick.
I was gonna say
Funny,
very
funny.
laddie, suck
Yeah,
that
yeah.
dick,
Suck
homie.
that dick. They love that. But I remember that I went to this specific one maybe 3 or 4 times. And on the last time, I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. So firstly, when I went there, they were talking about, they hinted at a few things gay. And they would just use, as straight boys do, generic things that were a little bit homophobic. But I don't think they really think of it. Firstly, I feel like gay men code switch when they go into those environments. I definitely do.
I don't. I think that's the problem.
I mean, I'm always a little bit gay, but like I definitely tone it down.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it makes
And,
sense.
like,
Survival.
Yeah, you have to always
yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
knocked out. We
Yeah.
want that in our lives.
So hard.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
So you kind of like, yeah, what are you saying? Like, I can't. I'm not gonna do it.
Ew, do you remember when you were? Are we not bringing that up?
No.
When you were talking to that guy, and not like in a dating way, but like Josh was talking to a friend, let's say, and then what did you say? Fam? No, you didn't say fam.
No, I said, what are you saying?
No, you said something at the end like fam or brother.
Oh,
like,
safe. Shout me.
Safe. Yeah, you said say. Oh, safe. Shout me,
Yeah.
guys. He said, "Oh, safe. Shout me, Josh." Squishy. He said that. Say it now. How you said it on the
No,
phone.
I can't.
Please.
No, because I
Come
have
on,
to be in that
please.
environment where I'm speaking to
No,
like a really straight guy.
Just pretend. Yo, hey, what you saying? What you saying? Go on. Answer me.
What are you saying? I can't.
Safe. I feel so
Shout
safe
me
with
in
you.
a bit, okay.
Whatever.
But anyway-
code switching at its finest.
Yeah. But in this environment, they would just say a couple of things. So one, there was an Indian boy there. They kept talking about him wearing a turban. And I remember like being like, this boy is laughing, but these other guys that are joking about it, for one, are a little bit older, late 20s, early 30s. This boy is like 18, obviously like on some kind of like apprenticeship or internship. You could tell he's laughing and joking with them, but it's one of those laughing jokes where it's like, I want to fit in, so I don't want them to like...
Also, imbalance of power.
Exactly, yeah. So they're making these kind of jokes. They're talking just the standard thing like, oh, that's gay, like, oh, that's batty, like just those kind of... And I'm just sat there like, this is just awkward because now I feel like I can't actually be myself completely like when I'm talking to like my barber when he's doing it, because I'm like, if I do, like... It just makes it very like uncomfortable,
yeah.
Like in general.
And also I feel like in those spaces like people forget about like being professional.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
it
Like
all
they just
goes
think,
out.
oh, I own this shop, I can talk about
Yeah,
it.
I've worked here for years.
But like you will go under because you need to care about your customers and clients. Like you always have to care.
100%.
Like, read the room, honey. Like
yeah,
it's stupid.
And I hate it when certain straight boys do that because they're always like that in their pack mentality.
Yeah.
Lad.
By themselves,
dicka,
they're
dick.
like nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
My barber, when I first went there, it was very busy, so the others weren't speaking to him. He was so sweet and nice. The moment a few people left and it got a bit quiet, he just turned into a bit of a dickhead. And I'm like, you don't need to act this way just because your boys are there. Like, it's fine.
They do, though.
Yeah. And it's just different things. Like, even when I used to play football when I was younger, like that kind of environment.
I'm trying so hard not to laugh
It's
at
so
that
funny.
situation.
I'm a footballer. No, when young.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to kind of like change
Yeah.
who you are.
Yeah.
And just in general, when you're in certain environments, to be honest, for most gay people in any environment, you kind of have to...
Well, all of it is a straight environment at the end of the day.
It is.
But we're talking
You go to a
specifically
bar,
like
you go
lad
to-
straight environments.
The pub.
Like those are straight environments where women are fine.
Yeah.
But like straight environments with men, like I think it's just that you shouldn't feel uncomfortable like that in a barber shop. You're there to pay them to do their jobs and get your hair cut. Like you shouldn't.
I'd
be
rather you
feeling,
just didn't talk to me.
Yeah, you shouldn't be feeling uncomfortable, and they shouldn't be making jokes like that and stuff. Like it's annoying. But like you can kind of read, like if you can't, then you're stupid. But you can kind of read like your clients and who's in the shop and like when it's appropriate to do that and when it's not. You should also like, I feel from your privilege, clearly they're like white, right?
Yeah.
Like from your privilege, you should know that like, you should try and learn and know that if there's someone of color that you're working with, like they're not gonna call you out on like stuff that feels racist or because it's just too uncomfortable and it's too imbalance of power. And it's too awkward. And they've probably learned, I think a lot of British Asians have learned to just go with it, if I'm honest. Like, just to be completely candid, like, I feel like British Asian men specifically, like, will put up with more and they'll kind of get with that lad mentality because that's the only way they can survive as well. And that's the only way they can live. So they won't think of that. The pub, like, I get really frustrated when people just don't get it. Like cousins of mine or whatever, like I remember like once the football was on and they're like, come to the pub, watch the football. Like
my worst nightmare.
Not into it.
No.
Not into it. Why I wouldn't ask you to come and watch Keeping On with the
RuPaul's Drag
Kardashians.
Race. I mean, we don't watch that.
But Keeping On with the Kardashians, or like I wouldn't come and do that and be like, come to the, I don't know, park, let's watch. Like it's not a vibe. Like get over it. Like we're not into it. But also at a pub, and I'm like, you don't understand, and I can tell you don't understand how uncomfortable that is, and check yourself. Check
And
your
it's
privilege,
also
bitch.
not even just gay. It's also a predominantly white environment.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that is, you can
Especially
mix. There's
in-
not
in
saying
the
you
area
have to
that
be
we're in.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also like, as a person of color, you get comments when people get a bit drunk.
Mm-hmm.
We went, the last time we went to a pub, do you remember you went to the toilet and then they said something about
that's what
you
I was
looking
gonna
like
say.
Aladdin?
Yeah.
Or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you're around it too long and people
Something
talk
will
to each
happen.
other,
Yeah.
there always is like a bit of a joke. Oh yeah, but you're black eye. Do you know what I mean? And it's such...
Oh, you probably smoke weed. Like,
Yeah.
there's always
Oh,
something.
you know, there's
And
always
those
slight
comments can be fine with some people, but not if someone you don't know
is making them.
and not if someone like like it's you can't just assume that everyone's going to be okay with those kind of comments. Like
just
that's
because you've
annoying.
met another Arab person or a black person, that's okay with you saying that means that every person is going.
Exactly.
And you're always on guard when you're in those environments because you're just waiting.
It's just not fun. Like,
It's not.
Why would I want? I'm like 32. I'm like 32. Like I don't want to waste my time anymore. Like I want to do shit I want to do. I don't want to sit in a fucking pub and watch football. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. And also like I'm sorry, but if that's it, that's all you have to offer is football. Like not interested in having you in my life anyway.
No.
Like, you're dumb. That's all you can talk about.
Yeah.
Not people that obviously watch football, but like those people that just watch football.
It's their only
Yeah.
personality trait.
I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not. So I feel like that kind of thing, like, you obviously don't get that feeling of being in a straight space. Like, you don't get it, because it's just, like, when we went to the toilet and he was like, oh, like, I can't remember. He said something about, oh, your dick, do you want to look at my dick, or your dick's nice, or something like that.
And then he said something about
and then
Aladdin.
he was like, you look like handsome Aladdin. And obviously he meant it like in a compliment. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
I don't think he said... I can't
But
remember what
afterwards he was
said.
like trying to shake my hand when he came out.
And he didn't wash his hands.
And I was like, no. And he was like, why not? You think you're too good? And I was like, you didn't wash your hands. Like, I'm not gonna...
Yeah.
Why should I feel like I have to shake your hand anyway? Like, that annoys me when people try to dominate in that situation. Like, oh, you're not gonna... I know, I don't know, but I can kind of gather how women feel now around certain guys. Because of like, oh, you think you're too good. Like, that whole... It's a very similar vibe. Like, where you feel like, fuck off. Like, why do I even talk to you? I don't have to talk to you. Like, go away.
100%. But the thing is, I feel like we've only, I don't know about you, but I've only gotten more comfortable, like, just saying no to those things.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was younger, especially being in like Australia and New Zealand, it's very like drinking, going to, not pub, but more like bar, but a specific type of bar. Do you know what I mean? Where like football would be on, or rugby and stuff like that. And you just remember all like the comments that people say, you just like laugh along with it.
But it's that type of culture. It's that English, like, Australian, like, kind of similar vibes and culture. Because if you go to a sports bar in Abu Dhabi or Dubai, it's not like that.
Yeah.
Like, they're not like that, apart from the English lads that have moved over there, unfortunately. But like, it's not like that. Like, you can go to a bar and enjoy a football match in Jordan, like when the World Cup was on. It's such a different vibe. Like, you actually just like are chilling and they're chatting about everything because they have brain cells, so you can talk to them about other things.
Yeah.
And you're watching the football. Like, it's more like this like, get drunk in a pub and watch like, it's
and
so,
get ready to get abused.
and it's so like aggressive and it's not fun. And anyways, what other straight spaces are there?
Those are the main ones. Where did my voice? There was one thing that I did want to have a little chat about.
Another chat.
Maybe I feel like this episode, the last couple of episodes, I've just been like,
perfect.
Good.
I love it.
Austin Wolf,
Who's that?
a very famous porn star.
Oh, is this the person you speaking to on Grindr? Is it that one?
Backstory to this: when I was in Australia, coming back, and I was visiting my friend, not in Brisbane. I don't know why I need to say that. Someone messaged me on Grindr. This is when I just came out, so I was 19, and it was Austin Wolf. Now, it could have been
Look
a
at
fake
you.
profile.
Why are you blushing?
I'm not blushing.
And why are you so excited? You're like, oh, my claim to fame, Austin Wolf.
No, because
Whatever.
So we spoke a little bit, and I was like, I'm not too sure if it's actually you, because, like,
What did he say to you?
he wanted me to go to his hotel. Yeah.
You slut. Did you go?
No.
Oh.
I was like, I don't know if it's actually you, like, da 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 da. And then
Did he just message you, say, come to my hotel?
I can't remember exactly
Oh,
how the
man,
conversation
you're
went. This
annoying.
was like 8 years ago. Like, it was a
but
long
this is
time
like claim
ago.
to you knew who he was back then, though.
Vaguely, but I
So
I
you
just
should have
come
been
out as
like-
gay, so I wasn't like, oh my God, I know who. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, well, I recognize you. Like,
I've watched
I was
some
like,
of your work.
But people
admire your work.
catfish.
Yeah,
People
obviously,
catfish. So I'm not
obviously.
100% if it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
him or not.
It probably
But
wasn't.
anyway, they messaged me. Awkward because I was 19. They're like late 30s at that time. They're now 40s now. There has been controversy that has come out since then.
Yes.
They have been caught. I don't know the ins and outs of what's happening exactly now, but they got caught with child pornography on their laptop, iPhone, something. And some of the ages, how young it goes to, is ridiculous.
Do you know? Does it say?
Some of them were 10 years old.
Actually.
Yeah. He is, and the awkward thing is here, there's so many,
There's so much to say.
there's so much to say
Yeah,
from
yeah.
this. One, it's really fucking annoying that a gay person and someone who's as famous as him in the gay world and gay porn world got caught with it. Because for one, it just reinforces what a lot of straight people think about gay people.
Well,
With,
hopefully
like,
not. I think.
I hope
hopefully-
not, but you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like what certain things can be thought as. But for one, like, he's such a big name for something like that to happen is insane. Do you know what I mean?
Can't say I'm shocked though.
No. And it's kind of like men like young things in general.
think
Straight
men are
men, gay
disgusting in
men,
general, yeah.
like you see it throughout loads of different cultures. Like it's usually like an older man with like a younger person. If you're gay,
Yeah.
you're straight, whatever. A younger girl, a young guy. Like it's kind of just like accepted.
A thing, yeah.
If like a couple like divorce as they get older, they always get this young thing.
Younger
Do you know what
person,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And I feel like it's kind of not God. And in the gay community, it's very common for like
That's
young
the
guys.
whole funny, like the funny thing about a daddy or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
it's a thing though. Like a
It
lot
is.
of older men, and it's not as shunned in the gay community. I feel like it's not a lot of people want to get involved in the intricate details of the LGBTQ plus.
Yeah,
it's only
yeah,
us
yeah.
that like within it that really look into it. So it's like it's the norm. It's like, oh, he's 50, you're 18, like fair,
It's
like
normal.
do it, yeah,
Yeah. It's
you
so
know.
weird.
But
And then
if- in the straight world, in the heteronormative world, like people will be like, oh, gross, like what are you doing?
It's the same even with like Drake, for example. Do you know what I mean? Like throughout his whole career, there's been lots of things that have been said.
I've always said that
About
to you,
him,
but
and
you
he's
wouldn't
got 'em
listen.
with
I said
young
that to you
girls.
about this guy as well.
Yeah, you did. You did.
There's got to be a link somehow, somewhere. I know, like this is like you can't say this, but there has to be some sort of link with people that generally do that in general, but also people that do porn in general, especially traditional porn and even OnlyFans. I feel like yes, do whatever you want, but depending on what type of content you mostly do, I think it gives away other stuff.
100%.
So that's why I'm like, well, yeah, this doesn't surprise me.
And there was
'Cause
someone-
isn't that most of his content?
Most of his content is getting with younger guys,
Yeah.
but also guys that maybe, yes, I understand legally 18 you have to be to do porn and 16 is the legal age. I know it's disputed a lot over like what's right,
but you
what's
have
legal,
to have
blah, blah,
like
blah.
some limit
But
of
there's
age.
a imbalance.
Yeah.
Someone that young with someone older. Why do you want to have sex with that person? Why do you want to go
I
on
don't
dates?
even know if it's like genetics anymore. Like, but I know, like, what the fuck do you have in common right now to like be a 50-year-old dating an 18 or 20, 25-year-old?
talk about?
Yeah, I get that, but like, I don't know if so many men like it and so many men like the younger. Like, I don't even know if it's like someone who can research this or someone I'm sure has, if it's genetics, if it's something that's just like
It's just
we've
natural.
evolved
like,
into like
yeah.
I don't know.
It's
but
weird.
It is weird. It is weird. What do
It'd be
you talk
nice
about?
to have someone to come on the podcast and explain it to us. Actually,
love
to be
that.
honest, who's
Yeah.
done like research into it.
Yeah,
But
let's work on that.
yeah, we'll try.
Let's get taught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's such an interesting thing. And I feel like in general, I feel like there's a reason why all of these things are starting to come out now. Do you know what I mean? Like you look at the P. Diddy thing, you look at the Drake thing, you look at gay porn stars of kind and porn stars in
What's
general.
the reason?
I don't know. I feel like people are
You
waking
said
up.
there's a reason.
There's a reason why all these things are coming up. I feel like it's kind of been hidden for all these years
Oh.
about men liking younger things, gay, straight, whatever. And at this
And now
time, I
it's, like,
feel like
getting
people are a
exposed.
little bit, a little bit
Yeah.
more awake of it. Like you look at what's happening with like Nickelodeon. You know what I mean? All those stories of like these old men getting with these young guys and girls. Disney, I feel like, is on the verge of kind of
Yeah, I'm surprised it hasn't
breaking
already.
out with that.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
There'll be like stories of that. And I just feel like people are a little bit more switched on. Like, that's weird. Why is that person with this person? Whereas before it was kind of like these people were in power.
You just accept it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like Beyonce and Jay-Z and everything like that. Like
You
there's
look at
there's lots of stuff.
an
Yeah.
issue.
There's
She was
loads of them.
18, he
Celine
was
Dion
in-
and her husband. Yeah, there's loads of stuff that you just go, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in the 90s, like, and the early 2000s, you didn't really
Yeah.
think about it.
We
But
need
now,
to sort it out as a society. But then again, I don't want the government to have too much control over what people do.
100%.
We're all autonomous. So if you're going to have a legal age of 16, 18, whatever, like you can't really then dictate a 50-year-old dating a 25-year-old.
exactly.
Like that's
'Cause in the
so
eyes
it's
of
like-
the law, it's legal.
And it's, and like it is up to them. They're consenting adults. Like it's up to them. But obviously, if you dig deeper, I think you'll find issues on both sides.
100%.
All the time.
It's not just the older people, the younger
Yeah.
people. You probably have some issues.
Yeah.
If it's like consent and everything.
Interesting.
To like, interesting to for sure.
Dutty.
Yeah.
Anywho, what we haven't done in a long while.
I mean, we've
While.
only done it once
What? Have we only done it once?
in the first episode,
Oh my god,
or
actually.
the second episode.
Well, that's why it was a pilot.
Yeah.
Book talk.
Book talk.
No, like book a bath. Book a
We'll come up with a name.
bath.
This is just basically what we've been reading.
Okay, fine. But yeah. That's it. It's what we because I feel like it's cute every now and then to just like, what have you been watching? What have you been reading?
Yeah.
You've read the ACOTAR
I
universe.
have read all of them, and I'm
Yeah.
halfway through the last one.
Are you?
Yeah.
What, the fire
I mean,
one?
a third.
The flame. Is it Silver Flame?
Yeah, a quarter.
Oh,
of
I
Silver
forgot
Flame.
about that. That was even you were reading
Yeah.
that. Did you not get bored of it?
No, I'm still quite enjoying
good?
it.
Oh.
It's about Nestor and Cassian.
Shh, don't give it away.
Okay. I just want to say, I first saw the hype of it, and I was like, I'm not too sure. Faris obviously was reading the first one. He's finished it now, and you've also
I
finished...
kept calling it a court of horse and roses or something. Like
Yeah, A Court of Thorn and Roses.
horses and carriages or
Yeah.
something. Yeah,
16
the first book,
carriages.
fine. First book, fine. Like,
Yeah.
it got me. It was good. We got there. Second book, I got about maybe 100 pages from the end, and I still wasn't getting that thing that you got where you were like, oh, wait until you get to... It just never caught me. I just didn't get it. Like, I think I'm just not into it. Like, I don't think it's my thing, because I thought by then I should be into it, and I just wasn't. I didn't care who fucked her. I don't care, like, who wants to take over. I forgot everything about it. Like, what's the place called? The universe? Feyre? No, that's her
Perithian?
name. Perithian, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care. I just
No,
don't care.
it's so good.
No,
The thing
it's
is, you have
boring.
to... No, it's not.
It is. It's a bit like, it's so obvious. It's like, oh, who does she love? Oh, she loves him. Oh, he imprinted on her. Oh, it's like Twilight. I mean, if you're into it, you're into it. Like, it is a good story if that is your first experience of it, or like if that's the vibe that you like. I think it is good because it's a lot of imagination happening. It's
Yeah.
just not for me, I don't think.
It is so good. When you hear about what it actually is about, it sounds fucking weird because it's like fairies, but it's not the fairies that you think of. Like, la, la, la.
Like hot
These are
fairies.
like dark fairies.
Yeah.
And like the Bat Boys. I can just imagine what Rhysand looks like.
Oh,
And like,
you're
I don't
nasty, you
know.
dirty bitch.
No.
What other books?
I have recently read a book also by Adam Silvera, Infinity
one.
Son.
Oh yeah,
It's the
bit
thing
young,
that
wasn't it?
caught me. It's aimed at young people for
Right,
sure.
right.
Has similar kind of stories to his other ones, like they both die at the end. But it's a very light, feel-good thing. And it's also... The reason why I first ordered the book was he put up a story and it was like, if you like X-Men, if you like Harry Potter, if you
Yeah.
like Charmed, but you're gay, this is the
You'll
perfect
like
book
it,
for
yeah.
you. And it is really good. I've only read the first one, but the story of it is quite fun. They're playing on like the whole like celestial
Yeah.
like vibe. They have powers. Like it's two like brothers who are kind of like, one might not actually be relating to the other one. I know, I just ruined that. I'm sorry.
Okay, cute.
But it was a really fun read, very easy to read, very lighthearted. You see like lots of different powers, and I'm excited to see where it goes because they use like mythical creatures in there. So would definitely recommend.
That book.
Yeah,
Okay.
give it a go.
And just quickly, I guess, like TV shows. Do we have any?
The
like...
Real Housewives of Dubai.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That could have a whole episode by itself.
I don't-
Caroline Stanbury.
I
She's
don't
from
know.
Ladies of London. I've been watching. Let me say this weird story.
Okay, go.
So I was watching Ladies of London
Yeah.
on the 12th of July. Relevant. It's relevant. I was working and watching it on my lunch break, obviously, and then yeah, so I was watching it and I was like, oh, like this is fun. I haven't watched this in years. Caroline Stanbury's in Real Housewives of Dubai. I like her. I know she's a bit of a bitch, and I know she's like a little bit cold-hearted and la la la, but I think she's soft in the center. Anywho, so I'm watching it and I'm liking it, and there's a woman in there called Annabelle. So she was friends with Alexandra McQueen, and she's friends with like Naomi Campbell, blah blah blah. So I'm watching it and I'm like, but I'm on the second season at this point. So I've been watching it for a while. So I
yeah.
don't know why I randomly thought of this, but I was like, I wonder what Annabelle's up to now. So I Instagram and I can't find anything on Instagram. So then I Google, I'm like, what happened to Annabelle? Like, where is she? And it said she's died. So she died.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she died. Oh, fuck. I can't remember the year now. Oh, I think it's 2018. On the 12th of July.
Yeah.
And it was on the 12th of July that I just randomly decided to look up, and I was like, oh my
I
God,
thought
that's
you were a
really
little
weird.
bit of
But that's weird, isn't it? That is weird.
It is very weird.
I was like, oh, 12th of July,
You're
how
psychic.
crazy. But I really liked her. I'm quite sad. And I don't really know, it said heart attack, but I don't know if it's like linked to anything else, but it was really sad. And speaking of sad deaths, Shannon Doherty.
From Charms.
And the weird thing is, I didn't
Cancelled.
realize how close her and Sarah Michelle Gellar were.
That is amazing.
Buffy and her were friends while both the series were being broadcasted.
Yeah.
How cool is that? I would have been, oh my God, Prue and Buffy are together, but I never saw it when I was younger because there's no social media. I don't know where it was. But yeah.
They
that's
kept that
another
under
sad
wraps,
thing.
though. I feel like no one really knew that they were like best friends. or
Yeah.
anything. Right. Well, I think we've bored our listeners enough.
Okay.
We hope you've enjoyed.
It's not boring. You're boring.
We're not boring. We're fun.
Whatever.
We're the cool moms.
Not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
Thank you for joining Avoiding My Anxiously Attached Boyfriend, and we will see you
Next Monday. Woo! Thank you. Bye.